Welcome back for another video. What a dramatic weekend of FPL it's been. Let us know in the comments how you got on. We're going to discuss everything that we learned to take into Gameweek 24, my transfer plans and team selection. So Bowen becomes the third forward to 100 points this season, and he is the third top scoring forward overall after Haaland and Thiago, following a goal and an assist against Sunderland. By the way, that goal coming from the penalty spot with Paquetá not in the squad. So with Paquetá out injured / potentially leaving as well, I think Bowen's appeal does go up with the penalty duties added on. Bowen now has the outright most goal involvements for West Ham in Premier League history, 62 goals, 40 assists, moving one clear of Mikel Antonio. They've got Chelsea away next, but after that, they've got Burnley away, Man United home, Bournemouth home. Xhaka unexpectedly not in the squad for Sunderland, having sustained an ankle injury. Obviously a massive loss for Sunderland. They tweeted on Saturday, the midfielder sustained an ankle injury in last weekend's victory over Crystal Palace, and he's now undergoing a period of rehabilitation at the Academy of Light. So it does sound like from that wording he could be a big doubt for Burnley home next as well. No DEFCON for Mukiele this week, but he still managed to pick up an assist for Brobbey's consolation goal. Including DEFCON, Mukiele's returned in 8 straight game weeks now. Insane consistency, and he's only 4.5 mil still. He's now passed 100 points himself after that last game week. Alderete owner is very unlucky. He finished on 9 DEFCONs for a 1-pointer. Fulham 2, Brighton 1. A lot of managers had a big headache. Who do I start between Verbruggen and Dubravka? They were dead even on the clean sheet odds as well, and Verbruggen ends up letting 2 in with only 2 saves. A howler at the end as well with the Wilson free kick, whereas Dubravka goes on to concede twice but make 9 saves and gets a bonus point as well for a 5-pointer. Wilson's remarkable season continues, scoring a stoppage time free kick winner, so he goes straight from 0 to max bonus with that for the winner, 10-pointer. He's the biggest XG overperformer this season, with plus 3.27 goals versus his XG, 8 goals this season plus the 6 assists. Anderson got the assist for the first goal as well, and he got bonus point himself for a respectable 7-pointer. Fulham have got some pretty good fixtures coming up as well. I really need to stop overlooking Wilson. Every time I ask myself, can he really continue this overperformance? That's exactly what he does, and he keeps going. The big drama of the game week was Man City versus Wolves. I'd already penciled in Foden to Enzo, and then the major news drop that both he and Haaland didn't start. That would have been such a big edge as well had that news not broke, but obviously that's the nature of the game and lots of people sold or benched Foden. Leaks are always going to be a thing of FPL, and I have read all your comments after that deadline passed, and I do sympathise with those that just aren't able to be online at the deadline to catch it. Some of my mates included, they rang me after the deadline passed like, bro, is Haaland and Foden bench? What? Or, you know, if you're in a time zone where it's the middle of the night. And by the way, big respect. I know there's quite a few of you that set alarms in the middle of the night just in case there's any leaks to catch during the deadline streams. There's always suggestions like just move the deadline to the first kickoff, but that's actually not going to change anything. We'll just have a better chance of leaks in later games. So yeah, Foden and Haaland both benched. Pep shakes things up following the recent form of City and those two. Marmoush and Semenyo start and they both score. Gueye makes his debut, he played pretty well. O'Reilly starts as well for the clean sheet. 6 goals, 1 assist in 4 games, and then 7 straight blanks since for Foden. And no open play goals for Haaland in 9 games in a row in all comps now. So do you sell Haaland then? It actually could work. It's just extremely high risk, high reward, because you're betting on probably Palmer or Salah, or maybe both, but they've not done much this season or lately as of note. So yeah, it could work, but for me, I'm definitely going to hold Haaland for now. I think Foden is definitely an easy sell, especially if you haven't got Bruno or someone like that in your team. So the big question, who's got the best fixtures now, from an attacking and a defending perspective? For projected goals first, over the next 6, Man City actually lead. Obviously, where the points come from is kind of unclear, and it does lead me to think I will hold on to Haaland, but yeah, Foden's already gone for me. Semenyo could be great if he nails down a spot on the wings, and what works in his favour is he can play left wing or right wing. Though Cherky's the same, like he can play as a 10 or right wing, and he'd be amazing if he nails down a spot, but will he actually nail down a spot? Liverpool are second over the next 6 game weeks, and assists for Salah last game week, rolling the ball to Szoboszlai for that free kick goal, but I think he had a pretty average game otherwise. I didn't see enough just yet to even entertain the idea of swapping Haaland to Salah. And then Chelsea. Now, of course, Chelsea's next 4 are the big ones. They're top of the league if you specifically look at the next 4 game weeks. And that's a really nice window to look at, the next 4. Enzo's coming to my team. Palmer not even in the squad against Palace last game, so it's just too expensive and too risky for me. Arsenal were 4th on the ticker, and then it's Bournemouth after that. Evanilson has quietly scored in 3 of his last 4 games now. And if you look at Bournemouth's fixtures, he could be a great option for 7 million. Wolves away, Villa home, Everton away, West Ham away, Sunderland home, Brentford home. The projected clean sheets ticker, of course, has got Arsenal leading with 2.7 over the next 6. And then it's Liverpool, then it's Chelsea, Man City, Palace and Bournemouth. So given that Liverpool is second, I'm actually comfortable keeping Van Dijk. He's a very up and down asset to own, and it was really frustrating to watch him lose that clean sheet on Saturday after a pretty complacent moment, not getting rid of the ball when he probably should have done, and it was punished straight away, though fortunately he did go on to score and get DEFCON. Chelsea's next 4 are amazing defensively as well, and I think Chalobah looks like the #1 pick there, or Sanchez if you need a keeper, maybe if you're wildcarding. I'm wavering on O'Reilly even though City are up there. I think he's likely gone from my team soon, just because of that uncertainty of him in the starting 11. I think a switch to Lacroix or Munoz if I can afford the wing back looks like a good option. Guehi obviously looks great value as well for 5.2 mil, so about the same price as O'Reilly, but you know he's going to start every game, nailed in that defence, so I could just switch to him. You can play around with the ticker and loads of other FPL tools on FPL page and on the FPL Focal app. There's a link below for that. It's about 77p a week for premium if you want to get that. Trusted by over 430,000 FPL managers. So yeah, Bournemouth come away with a very, very late winner. Last seconds of the game, they claimed the 3 points. Incredible result against the champions, especially with Semenyo now gone, Tavernier out injured. Jimenez played out of position on the wing and he scored. Adley and Evanilson with the other 2 goals. Krupi started again in behind Evanilson, and that's 3 starts in a row now. The only thing with him is he's guaranteed to come off early. He's not played 90 minutes all season in fact, but I think he's still a solid option. You could definitely start him in some of these upcoming fixtures that Bournemouth have got, especially if you need a cheap enabler while downgrading a forward. Like Ekitike, I'm sure is going to be one of the most sold players this week after being benched that game. Liverpool conceded a 90th minute winning goal for the 3rd time in the Premier League this season. That's their most ever in a single campaign in the competition. No player has scored more goals from outside the box for Premier League clubs in all competitions this season than Szoboszlai with 5. That's level with Foden. 13 pointer for him. Max bonus with that goal and assist. I really wish I'd gone for him instead of Gakpo. What a disaster transfer Gakpo's been for my team. I think he'll have to join that list of players that I'm never going to buy again. You know, having owned Gakpo again early this season when he had some good fixtures then as well where he didn't do anything. The only thing about Van Dijk, so Gomez had to play centre-back because Konate's off on compassionate leave, but then Gomez went off injured, which meant Endo having to play centre-back. I mean, it'd be crazy if they don't sign a new centre-back in these next few days before the window closes, and I really hope they do as a Van Dijk owner. Chelsea beat Palace 3-1 with goals from Esteval, João Pedro and Enzo. So is João Pedro an option again? Well, he was the top scoring player, if you recall, over the first 4 game weeks of the season. He had 2 goals, 3 assists, but then he did go on to blank for like 5 straight games afterwards. It's important to note that those 5 returns also came against easier opponents. He had West Ham, Fulham and Brentford for those 5 goal involvements. So although he has been really frustrating for many this season, I actually still think he's fine when you consider it's West Ham home, Wolves away, Leeds home and Burnley home. 3 home games in 4 and they're very, very good fixtures. The only caveat is they've got cup games, including the Champions League, in and around those 4 really good fixtures. The best Chelsea asset is looking like Enzo right now. Palmer not even in the squad with a minor injury, which meant Enzo on pens, and he did bury the one he got against Henderson. In the defence, I still think Chalobah looks the best bet, and he hit DEFCON that game, or Sanchez if you need a keeper. James actually came off before they conceded as well, so he got the 6-pointer, but he's just so risky for starts these next 4. And in my view, I think he's actually likely not to start all 4 than to start them all. The gamble with João Pedro as well is obviously whether Rosignol gives Delap a start at some point in there, given all the cup games. They've got Napoli next week, midweek. Last week against Paphos in the Champions League, it was Delap who started, so it could be João Pedro favoured, first choice in the league. In other news, Burnley drew 2-2 with Spurs. Really poor result from a Spurs perspective. Dubravka made 9 saves and ended up on 5 points. Romero and Van de Ven scoring Tottenham's goals, which says it all about their attack right now. Brentford lost 2-0 home to Nottingham Forest, where Anderson got his routine DEFCON for an honest 5-pointer. Ego Jesus scored and he got 3 bonus. Bruno G was missing from Newcastle's squad with an ankle injury picked up last game. Since his first Premier League game for the club in February 2022, Newcastle haven't won any of the 9 league matches in which Bruno G didn't feature. 5 draws, 4 losses. Villa beat Newcastle 2-0. Buendia with a worldie outside the box. And of course it was Rodgers was the one that played the pass and ended up getting the assist there, plus Defcon for an 8-pointer. Same score as Watkins, who scored the other goal, and he got 2 bonus points. I think Rodgers and Watkins as well look so good from Gameweek 24, starting with Brentford home. It's just really hard to pick the best midfielders right now. Like, how would you guys rank the following 3 midfielders? Enzo, Rodgers and Bumo. What order would you put them best to worst? Enzo, Rodgers and Bumo. More on those 3 to come in the players to buy video. And lastly, Man United beating Arsenal 3-2 at the Emirates, with all 3 shots from Man United finding the back of the net. Huge upset. Dorgu and Cunha with screamers from outside the box as well. Marino and a Martinez own goal for Arsenal's 2 goals. So Arsenal's gap closed to 4 points now. Terrible timing for Leeds to have to play Arsenal next. The only thing with Mbeumo is the early subs. I really like him, but that's 2 early subs under Karaj. He punished a Zubimendi mistake for Man United's first goal, but it was taken off at 69 minutes, even earlier than the game against City. Dorgu went off with a possible injury as well, maybe his hamstring, so that's one to monitor for the post-match quotes. So onto the team for Gameweek 24 and transfer plans. The team is going to be Raya, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Mukiele, Bruno, Lafay, Saka, Enzo, Haaland, Thiago and Ekitike. So 2 free transfers, just 0.1 million in the bank. Got some great fixtures in the team this week on paper, quite a few home fixtures. In terms of where the issues are in the team right now, it's Ekitike, O'Reilly and Barr. They're the 3. Ekitike, he's been a disaster transfer, a couple of tough fixtures, maybe not even nailed. And the same with O'Reilly. He could go back on a run of starts now, but I just don't like that uncertainty. There's 2 ways that I can go this week. Option 1 is Ekitike to Watkins, straight swap. They're the same price, 8.8 mil. And I can afford to take an Ekitike price for. I expect that probably happen well before the next deadline. It doesn't affect my sell price if he drops. And I've got that 0.1 mil wiggle room anyway. The other option I'm looking at is Ekitike to Krupi and Barr to Mbeumo. So again, this still fixes Ekitike, but it also fixes Barr. Mbeumo's averaging more points per game than Watkins, a higher minutes per expected goal involvement. Though that combination does require 2 transfers instead of the 1 for Watkins, so I think it's quite close. I can also afford Evan Nilsson and then die with exact money, so there's a few options there. What option do you like more? I'm currently leaning towards the Mbeumo and Krupi combination. I think that Man United mid looks quite appealing right now, considering Man United's upcoming games, and I'm expecting much better attacking performances that could merit the double up. As I say, those 2 early subs for Mbeumo against Man City and then against Arsenal are a little bit off-putting. You want a player to ideally be playing 90 every game in your team. The longer they're on the pitch, the likely they are to score or get an assist for you. I suppose I haven't totally ruled out just doing Ekitike to João Pedro, given that leaves a lot more in the bank than Watkins does. Lots to think about. I'm not going to rush anyway because there is European games on before Gameweek 24. For now, hit subscribe if you'd like to follow my team and other content through the season. Thank you for watching and see you soon for the next one.